$10 per work RVU. At median production of 7,207 work RVUs annually, that gap costs you more than $72,000 every single year. Over a 10-year career with standard 3% raises, that compounds to well over $800,000 in lost lifetime earnings. Here is the exact framework and language to close that gap. Step 1. Calculate your current effective rate. If you are renewing or renegotiating an existing contract, start with your actual effective dollar per work RVU rate, not what your contract states, what you actually earned. The formula: total compensation from the last 12 months divided by actual work RVU production from the same period. If your W-2 shows 397,000 and your productivity reports show 7,207 work RVUs, your effective rate is $55.09. If you generated 9,049 work RVUs for that same 397,000, your effective rate drops to $43.87. That second number, calculated from actual earnings and actual production, is the one you negotiate from. Step 2. Establish your target range. The 2025 National Physician Compensation data shows the EM median dollar per work RVU at $56.09, with the 25th percentile at $43.32 and the 75th percentile at $73.13. Employer type creates substantial variation. Large CMG employers, 50 to 65 per work RVU. Hospital-employed positions, 55 to 70. Independent Democratic groups, 60 to 80. Rural and critical access, 70 to 90. Your negotiating corridor is the space between the 50th and 75th percentile for your specific employer type. Step 3. Build your case. Data wins negotiations, feelings do not. Compile your evidence. Production numbers. If you generate 9,049 work RVUs annually, you are at the 75th percentile nationally. That is leverage. Document it month by month. Add tenure value. Every year you have remained represents $25,000 to $75,000 in recruiting costs the employer did not pay. Include patient satisfaction scores, coverage flexibility, specialized capabilities. Each makes you harder to replace. Step 4. The Ask Framework. Lead with data, not with need. Never say, "I need a raise because my expenses went up." Instead say, "Based on current 2025 National Physician Compensation data for community hospital emergency medicine, the 50th percentile dollar per work RVU for my employer type is $56 to $60. My current effective rate is 48. I am asking to close that gap, which reflects median market compensation for physicians at my production level." When they say, "The rate is set by corporate," respond with, "I understand corporate sets guidelines. I am asking you to advocate on my behalf with this data. What information would be most useful for that conversation?" When they say, "We are already at market rate," respond with, "I appreciate that perspective. Can you share the data your team is using so we can identify where the discrepancy is?" When they say, "We cannot change individual rates," respond with, "I am open to discussing how a productivity bonus could achieve the same outcome without changing the base rate structure." When the base rate genuinely will not move, the negotiation shifts. Productivity bonuses. If the base is 52 per work RVU, negotiate a bonus of $8 for production above 6,000. You have created a path to a 60 effective rate. Guaranteed minimums protect your income if patient volume drops. Threshold adjustments. Moving the bonus trigger from 7,000 to 6,500 puts money in your pocket. Retention bonuses. A $50,000 retention bonus at year 3 is functionally equivalent to a $5 to $7 per work RVU increase for those 3 years. You will get one of 4 responses. They meet your ask, accept, and get it in writing. They counter below target but above current rate. Evaluate whether the gap is acceptable and consider accepting with a written agreement to revisit in 12 months. They say no but leave the door open. Set a specific date to revisit. They say no definitively, and the gap is more than $10 per work RVU. At 7,207 work RVUs, that is more than 72,000 per year. That is a job search number. Most physicians accept the first offer. Do not be most physicians. Run your contract through the ClauseLine analyzer at clauseline.com/analyzer.